Well, I think they are important in rallying folks behind the whole notion of community improvement, and I would like to see faith-based organizations make community improvement a part of their ongoing ministry, not just for Faith in Action, but throughout the year. That would make a tremendous difference in our city.
Mid-South Viewpoint, a Christian news and information feature of Bott Radio Network 640 AM. Discussing the news, views, issues, and concerns that affect our community. Join us now for today's edition of Mid-South Viewpoint.
What can be done about litter, high weeds, eviction debris, and other eyesores in our city? How can we maintain a clean and attractive neighborhood? Well, take action. It's that simple. Register now to be one of the record number of volunteers with one purpose: to help beautify the great city of Memphis. No experience is needed, just the will to want a better way for all of our neighbors, our families, and ourselves. Grab a shovel, a broom, and a few friends, and join us on April 25th through the 27th for what's expected to be the largest ever volunteer project in the city, possibly the United States. We could actually break a record here. We want your participation. Hi, and welcome to Mid-South Viewpoint. I'm Byron Tyler. Glad that you could join us on our program today, and we're going to talk about Faith in Action Memphis Cleanup, an event coming up real soon here, and we're pleasure to have in the studio with us is Eldri White. She's the Executive Director of Memphis City Beautiful. Eldra, good to see you.
Good to see you, Byron.
I like that big flower you have on your shirt there.
Oh, yes, thank you. I thought I'd be a little bit springy on this chilly day today.
Yeah. What kind of flower is that?
I have no idea. It's not real, so I don't know.
Oh, it's not real?
No.
Well, you fooled me. I thought you had a real flower on your lapel there. Well, also we want to welcome Missy Marshall, who is with Keep Tennessee Beautiful. And Missy, good to see you.
Good to see you.
We were having some conversation in the lobby waiting for Eldra and discovered that you are a longtime faithful Bott Radio Network listener.
Yes, I am. Yes, it's made a huge difference in my life.
Prior to the position you are now, you've been involved with Tennessee government. Tell me specifically what you were doing.
Well, prior to joining Keep Tennessee Beautiful, I was the Director of Communications and External Affairs for the Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. I have a strong passion for individuals with special needs and advocating on their behalf.
I think that's wonderful. And you, Missy, and Eldra work quite closely together in your organizations because you're connected. Is that right, Eldra?
Exactly. Memphis City Beautiful is a local affiliate to Keep America Beautiful. And, of course, Keep Tennessee Beautiful is the state affiliate.
Okay. Now, we're going to talk about this special Faith in Action Memphis cleanup. It's going to be taking place, as I mentioned, April 25th through the 27th. So we want all of our Bott Radio Network listeners to be ready to write down information and how you can be involved. But first of all, ladies, what is your definition of litter? Eldra?
Well, misplaced trash.
Unfortunately, we see some of that.
Exactly.
The other day, I was driving, I saw somebody toss them out their window. We see a lot of it, unfortunately. There was a time we didn't see as much of it, but unfortunately, we see that. What are some of the key issues that impact the environment and overall appearance of our city?
Well, I would say litter impacts our environment. Illegal dumping, those type things impact our environment.
Yeah. From a state level?
Well, one of the main issues, aside from roadside litter, would be tires. Misplaced tires. When you ask, what is your definition of litter, I would say any waste that's out of place. A proper place to dispose of our trash and our belongings, and tire in the stream is obviously out of place. Tire belongs on a car. And when people dispose of their things, we ask that they be conscientious of disposing of them in the proper place.
I like that, place for waste, proper place for waste. And as you talk about tires, I've driven in our city and taken a side street where there's a tree line, and you look on the side there and you'll see old tires lying there. Of course, they can be breeding grounds for mosquitoes, and there's a health concern there too, Eldra.
Exactly. They can collect water and, like you said, breed mosquitoes. They just look awful as well. There's a place where you can take tires that have been thrown out, and a lot of people don't know that, and it's the Shelby County Tire Recycling Facility on Elvis Presley Boulevard, and there's a small fee for disposal.
Okay. What's the biggest environmental concern that we face today in our city that is a threat to public health?
I would say the illegal dumping and abandoned houses.
And we talk about abandoned houses, specifically, what do you mean by that?
Well, houses, they're not occupied and where they're just totally in disrepair, basically.
Homeowners just vacate it, or they're not taking care of it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of those folks tend to live out of the city.
And there's not just one particular area in our city. That happens in the hood and the suburbs. That's everywhere.
Yes, it is.
How can we be more conscientious citizens for keeping it clean? You guys are doing it right now by getting involved. I think sometimes we get so busy in our life.
I just think people can simply maintain their own properties. They can simply handle their waste responsibly. They can educate people and teach their kids to be more responsible in that regard. So
I want to mention, too, I downloaded this really nice Citizen's Guide to a Cleaner Memphis, endorsed by Memphis Mayor A.C. Wharton. This is a wonderful guide, 37 pages.
right, it's a comprehensive guide that tells you a little bit about everything that could impact our environment negatively. So real popular item amongst the neighborhood leaders and citizens out there.
How do we compare with other cities across the nation?
Well, I think litter and problems of blight, it's a pervasive problem throughout the country, not just Memphis. So Memphis isn't alone, but it's a problem that we must continue to work on and to educate folks and engage folks about how to resolve them.
Now, I have to commend the City of Memphis and Memphis City Beautiful. They're really, just as you stated, I know in the history of Tennessee, this is the largest faith-based cleanup that has taken place. But they've led the way in other ways as well. On our board at Keep Tennessee Beautiful, we have a 14-member citizen board that the governor appoints. Our very own Judge Larry Potter, who is the judge of the environmental courts here in Shelby County, led the way. I mean, he's kind of referred to as godfather of the courts, if
Right.
you will. He helped establish other environmental courts. And I think that the city works very well. I know I have observed in his court, and the city works very well as far as at least taking the initiative and leading the way. And there's many challenges in this city as there are across the state. Blight, it is an issue, but both Mayor Wharton and Judge Potter have joined forces, and I know that there's some legislation, I can't really refer to the details of it at this point, that would actually involve the mortgage companies and being involved in helping to restore or keep up those abandoned properties. Because
Right.
when you have abandoned properties, it's a breeding ground for crime as well.
And that's unfortunate, too.
Right, our health suffers, property values go down, tourism actually declines, that kind of thing. And, when you see those kinds of things happening in our city, it's a sign that no one cares. And I know Memphians care about our city. That's why we're pursuing the Faith in Action event, because it allows us to demonstrate that the citizens here do care.
Exactly. And those are some key things. We want a clean community because we could see lower crime rates. We can have better chances of attracting new businesses in our community, which we would love to see, wouldn't we, Eldra?
Exactly. That first impression counts, especially when a new company is coming to our city to figure out if they want to locate here and they see trash and blight around. Like I said, it's a sign that no one cares. And all these problems, as I always say, it's a people problem that people can fix, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've lived here in Memphis all my life, and there was a time when Memphis was recognized nationally as the cleanest city in America. How long has it been since we were recognized for that achievement, and what do you guys think has been the culprit that has stolen that honor from us?
Well, that award isn't given anymore. It was actually sponsored by the National Paint and Varnish Association, and that organization does not exist anymore. It wasn't solely based on how clean we were. It was also based on the paint sales in Memphis. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, I'm glad you clarified that, Eldra. There was some hidden motives there we didn't realize. It kind of gave us a sense of pride.
Exactly.
I was telling a newcomer to the city not too long ago about that, because I didn't know the details of that. Was kind of a false award, I guess. And they were like, really? So surprised. But it did give us, I think, citizens a sense of pride, because we thought, wait, we got something going here,
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping will happen with Faith in Action.
Yeah.
Folks can really rally behind
That's a good
this
point,
event.
Eldra.
So
That's
the whole motivation behind it.
Yeah, we don't need that paint company anymore, do we?
Exactly.
Yeah, we really don't, but we can get involved. Well, I know it's been said that motorists, pedestrians are usually most often blamed for litter, but they actually represent only 2 of the 7 primary sources of litter. The other frequent sources of litter include household trash, improperly contained, commercial dumpsters, loading docks, uncovered trucks, construction sites. Why don't we just get real practical here and talk about improperly contained household trash and how we, regular Joe Byron Tyler, can do a better job?
Well, yes. As you know, the city gives you a garbage cart to place your garbage in. It's important that you actually place your trash in it properly and put the lid on it so that the wind doesn't blow it open or, and carry the litter and trash everywhere.
Yeah. Some of us have neighbors that really take advantage of it. We'll see trash overflowing,
Right,
and what
right.
should you do? Sometimes you have large families, and maybe that one container won't take all the trash that you're trying to get rid of.
Right. You just bag it and put it next to the bin.
Recycling is always good too. If a community has access to recycling, I find that even in my own personal household, it cuts down recycling the cartons and the plastics and the papers and the glass, and I'm putting those in the recycling bin. It cuts down on the amount of trash that I'm bagging and putting in the curbside container. The other thing is, if there's a storm coming that night, I notice this sometimes in my own neighborhood. We know storms and wind. I know sometimes it's convenient just to go ahead and set it out the night before.
Yeah.
But if you know that a storm is coming, maybe take that extra caution to wait till the next morning
Right.
before the storm has blown, so it's not knocked over. Or even if you're out farther out and you have wildlife that would come in and knock it over.
Yeah.
Those are just some easy common steps, decreasing the chance of the litter being spread throughout the neighborhood.
That's a good word. Talk about recycling. Our building here, the Highwoods Property Management, who oversees our building, recently implemented a recycling program for our office. It takes some getting used to remember which can to put the trash in, but I think our staff is starting to respond and has been taking advantage of that. Look at these commercial sites I mentioned as construction sites, loading docks, and commercial dumpsters as citizens. What can we do about these commercial violations that we see in our city?
Well, Shelby County Code Enforcement actually oversees commercial code violations, and if you see a business that is not managing their dumpster properly, then give them a call.
Not to switch gears on you, but you asked how people can participate. I know that there's a statewide number if you see people actually in violation of the litter law. And there's, several codes of the litter law, and illegal dumping in construction is one of them. But Eldra, you all have a phone number yourself, even though like TDOT's got a TDOT litter hotline.
Right.
There's a number that if citizens actually see those.
It's our 52 Clean hotline where citizens can report littering motorists.
Is that number still active?
Yes.
Because I've thought about that before, because I used to call that number from time to time when I would see something. Am I protected as a citizen? Am I going to be taken to this environmental court to witness against the person I saw, or am I anonymous when I give the information?
It's anonymous, and all you have to do is call that hotline and let us know you saw someone littering. You just give us the make, model of the car and the color, just a brief description of the car, the date, time, and place where you saw them tossing out their litter, and just explain what they did, whether or not they tossed out a cigarette butt or a bag or whatever.
What's that phone number again?
52 Clean.
Back in the 1930s, Memphis City Beautiful was originally founded to spearhead riverfront revitalization project. What's been the driving force behind your agency that's carried you guys along for so many years? I know you're connected with a national level, but locally, what's been that driving force?
Well, we've been a resource to the community. We're trusted by community leaders, and we try to help folks on a daily basis, in fact. We work with over 30,000 people per year, related to our focus areas, which is litter prevention, recycling, waste reduction, and beautification.
What are some other ways that you guys educate the community?
Well, actually, we work all the time with schools. For example, currently we are working on our Beautify Your School contest with Landers Auto Group as well as Channel 3. And that's a contest where we recognize schools for their landscaping efforts on their school grounds, and they actually get monetary prizes for participating.
It makes a difference. I just left the past week in the city of Birmingham, and there's a lot of little communities that break up Birmingham proper. They're gorgeous. And I'm thinking there's areas in our city, we've got the same potential right here that people would really enjoy.
And we're also about to establish a litter-free school zone program in the Memphis City area, so that will help educate kids a little bit more about why they should handle their waste responsibly.
The education is ongoing. I mean, the whole mission, I know with Keep Tennessee Beautiful and the affiliates across the state and Keep America Beautiful, is to rally and educate citizens to take a greater responsibility, more personal responsibility, because it's all of ours.
Yeah.
Not just Memphis, but Tennessee. It belongs to each and every one of us. And the more that we educate, not only don't put it there, put waste in its proper place, but take personal responsibility if you see it. It's not just somebody else's job.
Right.
For every dollar that we put into educating the citizens and that they take personal responsibility, that's less tax money that's going into public works and trash disposal and having to pay public employees to pick up after others.
Missy, you mentioned something a moment ago off the air about your enjoyment for this position that you have now is that you're able to involve your family. They have cleanup days, and I guess your husband and your kids can go together and work and do this as a family project.
Yes. I truly believe, I explained to them, we lead by example. The same thing with Keep Tennessee Beautiful. Traditionally, it's been just a grassroots, go in, educate, start up, and just do some continuing education. We're really moving towards an action-based organization. We shouldn't ask somebody to do something that we're not willing to do ourselves. And it's something that everyone, if you're someone that wants to participate in a group cleanup, that's available. But if you're just a walker like myself, I'll walk through my community and see, and from time to time carry a bag with me and some gloves and pick up. There's something for everybody.
That's lead by example.
Right. And we can make it easy for you. Memphis City Beautiful has a tool bank, and we have rakes, shovels, bags, gloves, you name it, to help groups conduct a cleanup in their community. So that makes it easy.
And we talk about cleanup. It's been not too long ago I had Dr. Shirley Raines, the president of the University of Memphis, which is where your office is, by the way.
Yes.
She sat right where you were. We did one of our programs here with her. We were talking about the campus. She said, it's one of my pet peeves. If I'm walking from my car to my office, if I see trash, I'm going to pick it up. And here's the president of the University of Memphis sees the importance of beautifying the property there, the campus. If Dr. Raines can do it, so can we.
That's right. Eldra made mention to tourism and economic community development. And when I first assumed the role, I heard a story of a community, and just recently found out the source of that story, but a story of a community where a Japanese company was coming in to look at relocating there. And they landed at the airport. The development folks picked them up. They were probably 2 miles into their drive, and they asked to go back to the airport. And when asked why, they were like, well, if this community doesn't take any more pride in itself, then why would we want to invest our capital and bring our people here?
Wow.
And that's huge. And I just recently, through a conversation, we're in the Great American Cleanup period right now. And, of course, the Faith in Action is one of the Great American Cleanup activities. We're all across the country, states and cities and communities, through May 1st through March 31st. So I'll be traveling the state, meeting with editorial boards, just as a way of explaining, how they can encourage their citizens to get involved. So I called a newspaper and was talking with the editor, and it was like, yes, we want you to come speak to our editorial board, and I tell you a story. This is why I believe in what you do. And told me that same story and told me that it actually took place in Monroe, Louisiana. And so for it to come back, at first I was like, is this a real story? Is this someone, trying to get their point across?
Exactly. What an indictment. And I've traveled. I've been to Japan, and I've seen how clean it is there, and I can testify how they live. Okay, let's talk about this event coming up. Now, again, April 25th through the 27th is the Faith in Action Memphis Cleanup. Eldra, how have faith-based organizations responded so far to this event?
Oh, gosh, tremendously. I've been told by many they're so excited about this event and that they are wanting to help support it. To date, we have 8,200 volunteers signed up, and we have a goal of 10,000 volunteers.
So we can make our goal today.
Yes. And we have 215 groups signed up, and our goal is 300. So that shows in itself that, the faith-based community is excited about it. I don't know the exact number of exactly faith-based organizations registered today, but it's a lot of them for sure.
Well, it's encouraging, too, that oftentimes our mayor, A.C. Wharton, calls on the faith-based community organizations to respond to needs. And I think we should answer the call. So this is a great opportunity. What do you think is the significance of faith-based organizations' involvement?
Well, I think they are important in rallying folks behind the whole notion of community improvement, and I would like to see faith-based organizations make community improvement a part of their ongoing ministry, not just for Faith in Action, but throughout the year. That would make a tremendous difference in our city. And of course, we have over 4,000 faith-based organizations and churches here. That's a significant sector in our community, and why not embrace them and encourage and motivate them to reach out to their congregations to get involved.
And Missy, how about for the state of Tennessee, looking at faith-based organizations and their involvement? Are we seeing an equal amount of participation?
Not at this point, but I believe this will definitely set the tone and lead the way, and it's something that we can take out there as an example across the state, and especially with our other affiliates. That's the beauty of being in an affiliate network and stealing ideas and sharing in common goals. So this will definitely be something to lead the way and set an example.
So, Eldra, we have a chance to champion the cause here for Tennessee right here in Memphis.
Oh, exactly. In fact, Judge Potter has mentioned that he'd like to call on the faith-based community to help, in this regard as well throughout the state. So I'm excited about it.
Don't you just end the name, Faith in Action? I mean, it's actually, most everyone shares a faith. They have a faith of their own. And to go in there and actually place it in action and help others, they're just with our community. We talked about people with special needs. They may not have the ability or the means to get out and fix up their homes or mow their yards. We may do that. We may be right now taking personal responsibility in our own home and in our yard. If we could share that with maybe those who are a little more challenged and be able to go out and put our faith in action.
Right. And the faith is a core value that maintains itself, throughout.
Yes.
And I'm proud of Memphians that are demonstrating their faith in this way.
Well, Eldra, when I was looking at this citizens guide here, one of the examples was if you had an elderly neighbor who's not able to take care or maintain their lawn, you might just go over and out of love and care for them and do it for them. Helps beautify the neighborhood. You do a great deed and encourage them. So we have an opportunity to serve one another through keeping our city clean.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, now, as we look at getting faith-based organizations involved and groups together, as we talked about, because you can participate individually or as a group, how do we get involved?
Well, all you do is go to faithinactionmemphis.com and register your group. It can be a small family of 3 cleaning up their street, or it can be a large group of 50 cleaning up a general area. So it's just that easy to get involved.
Participants assigned an area to get involved, or can they just do it right where they live?
Well, we encourage them to work in their own communities. We're trying to make it easy for them where they see, litter in a particular area, just claim it and go at it and clean it up. Individuals can also register and participate, and we do have 4 organizations that serve as volunteer support teams, and we will be directing individuals to those groups. For example, Lifeline to Success has a cleanup schedule for that weekend, and we will direct individuals to them. Clean Memphis, the Memphis River Warriors, which is a part of the University of Memphis, they'll be cleaning up as well, and we will be directing individuals to their cleanup on that day.
Okay. Each participating team can choose a project from a short list of options, which are on the website when you go there. What are some of the options offered?
Of course, litter pickup. They can clean storm drains, an illegal dump site. If they have enough volunteers to tackle a big job like that, they can actually paint out graffiti. You name it. They can plant a garden. It's all about community improvement at this point.
And you said the tools to accomplish these tasks are made available through City Beautiful?
Right. We have a tool bank, like I said, that has shovels, rakes, gloves, bags, trash sticks, rakes, you name it. And folks can borrow those, but that's available on a first-come, first-served basis. We won't be able to satisfy everyone's need for this particular event, but our tool bank is available throughout the year. And those groups that signed up by April 9th receive vests and, basically a team leader packet, which will include vest, gloves, bags, and a case of water.
And make sure when you're doing this work, whether it be on the 25th or the 27th or any time during the year, that you do it safe. Wear the safety protection you might need for your eyes and other parts of your body as you do these tasks.
Right. We ask that you wear sturdy shoes and, of course, gloves. And if you're in grassy areas, try to wear long pants if you can, that kind of thing. So, yes. Okay,
now before we wrap up here, there's one thing I want to ask you about is the Green City Fund. How does that benefit our city, and how can we contribute to this fund?
Well, the Green City Fund is a fund whereby folks can donate money to Friends of City Beautiful, our nonprofit fundraising arm. We collect those funds to plant trees in public spaces, and folks can make donations in memory or in honor of someone that they love. We take that money and collect it, and generally around Arbor Day, which is in Tennessee, the first Friday of March, we tend to plant trees that we collect from those monies.
Okay. April 25th to the 27th, there's still time to organize your group or if you can't organize a group, if you just want to come by yourself and participate, can you join other groups that are already established, Eldra?
Well, yes, all they have to do is contact our office and register as an individual, and we will work to direct them toward those groups that are open for having additional folks.
Okay. Any other thoughts for state involvement?
Well, I think why this is faith in action for the City of Memphis, because I know as a member of the steering committee, a question came up. Is it limited just to the city limits? I think that's something that is important, that all throughout Shelby County, you can register. The only barrier is the pickup. Once they have the cleanup, they'll be gathering the trash, and then they will leave it at a location, and the city will be picking that up, correct?
Right. Each group will be encouraged to complete the reporting form for us, and that will allow them to indicate where their bags of trash are so that we can pick it up.
Well, the radio signal we're speaking on right now is very powerful. Matter of fact, you mentioned a moment ago Monroe, Louisiana. We actually have listeners in Monroe, Louisiana. So we encourage Monroe listeners, the Boot Hill, Missouri, Arkansas, wherever you might be hearing our signal right now. You don't have to be in the city of Memphis. Let's keep it clean. Let's work together. That's all part of the process. If we all do our part, we can make it look better, can't we?
Yes, we can.
All
Yes,
right.
we can.
Hey, ladies, thank you for what you're doing. Help keep us clean and encourage us to do this. Again, there's a lot of information on the website. It's memphiscitybeautiful.org. Is that right, Eldra?
Correct.
Okay, memphiscitybeautiful.org. Now, is there a state website too?
There is. It is keeptnbeautiful.org.
Okay, keeptnbeautiful.org. And if you want more information about our local event coming up, Memphis Cleanup Faith in Action, April 25th through the 27th, please call the number 901-522-1135, 522-1135, and get more information, volunteer, organize your group. You might have a Sunday school class, a Bible study group. These are the kind of folks that, you can have a lot of fun, get up and do a morning or an afternoon day of cleanup, and then go stop, have lunch together or something like that. So you can make this really a fun time, can't you, ladies?
Yes.
Right.
And when we look good, we feel good.
That's right. We do, don't we? Yeah.
I always say we can get fit and give back.
There you go.
It's all about community pride.
Ladies, thanks so much for your time on our program today.
Thank you for having me.
Friends, that's all the time we have on this edition of Mid-South Viewpoint. I do appreciate you stopping by. I'm Byron Tyler. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Mid-South Viewpoint. If you'd like to join the conversation, you can email us. Our address is wcrv@botradionetwork.com. This has been Mid-South Viewpoint, another Christian news and information feature from Bot Radio Network 640 AM.